Hey, hey, you guys, it is Tasty Tuesday, and usually that means that I am talking about recipes and stuff like that. But, oh my goodness, I just noticed the light coming through this top of my desk is crazy. Pardon me. But as I have provided some Shakeology recipes yesterday, and since Beachbody On Demand has this awesome thing, which have you guys checked it out, called Fixate Cooking Show? I think I would rather just have you guys go on Fixate and check it out. Last night I made the garlic chicken over asparagus recipe. It took me literally from start to finish, from beginning, getting stuff out, to serving it to my family, 30 minutes. Hello. Okay, so that's that about that. Comment below, by the way, after this video, a recipe that you found that you're going to try, and they are family friendly. Again, my kids and my husband gobbled it up last night. Okay, so let's talk about what I really want to talk about today, and it's something that I struggle with too, that I have struggled with since recovering from eating disorders because I've been afraid of it, and it's a fruit of the spirit, and it's something very necessary for a healthy lifestyle. It is called self-control. Self-control obviously is required for so many things in any endeavor. So I have to practice self-control as a mom all the time. I can't always do whatever I want. I can't always say what I want to say. I can't always watch what I want to watch. And it's probably good for me, right? So self-control is like in parenting. It's a part of a fitness journey. It's part of eating better. It's part of weight loss. It's part of not flipping the guy off in traffic when he really made you mad when he cut you off. Like, there are all sorts of times when we have to use self-control. And if you're a Christian, because I think most of us in this group are, but if you're a Christian, the Bible says that we are given self-control. It's a fruit of the Spirit. We have it, but are we using it? And that's what I want to talk about today a little bit, because we are tempted. So let's specifically talk about health and weight loss. Not all of us are trying to lose weight. It doesn't matter. If you aren't trying to lose weight, you're trying to make healthier choices with food, because you know that food can be your medicine or it can be your poison. You know that food can help you feel energetic and full of vitality, or it can make you feel depressed and dragged down and crash and burn. And so if you truly want a healthy lifestyle, you're going to have some self-control with your food choices, especially around Christmas. And I am not saying, you guys, to ever demonize food, because that was a habit that I had during my eating disorder journey, where I would say this food is good and this food is bad, and I had so many foods over here in the bad section and not enough here in the good section. Instead of being like it's a bad food or it's a good food, ask yourself and label it as a food that's life-giving or a food that drains my energy. And I think that'll help us to understand that though that food that drains your energy isn't a bad food, because sometimes the celebratory food, like, at Christmas time, we have Christmas cookies. Dude, those things do not sit well with me, but I still eat them sometimes because they taste good or someone made it for me. Or wine. Sometimes wine gets the energy. Just kidding. But honestly, in all honesty, sometimes, like wine, I know the next day, if I drink more than one glass, I'm going to be a lot more tired than I should be. And so I'm categorizing it that way without demonizing it. So okay, I want to talk about the different types of temptation we might have, and then talk about how to have self-control in those. So if you are a Christian, one of the ways that we talk about temptation is temptation from Satan or evil. And I do firmly believe, and part of the reason why I am a health and fitness coach, I do firmly believe that evil wants us to be sick and low energy and have poor health, because then we are not able to do the things that God has for us to do. If our physical bodies are sick, our spiritual expressions are not their fullest. And so I think that there definitely is temptation whenever we're trying to get healthy, whenever we have a big story in our lives that needs to be shared with the world, whenever we have a mission on our hearts that needs to be shared with the world. You might notice that you're tempted to do that thing that makes you overweight or low energy, or you get more sick more often. And those, I think, are attempts at evil to keep us from doing the good work of the kingdom. If you're not Christian, just hang on with me. It's okay. But still, it still matters. Okay. Okay. The other temptation is just physical. Like we get hungry. And we think that that's automatically a really bad thing. But sometimes on a weight loss journey, it's just an adjustment period where you're a little bit hungry. This is the one I struggle with the most, is feelings of hunger, because it brings me back to a place of eating disorders where I was perpetually hungry, and I learned how to shut it down so much that I no longer felt hunger or fullness. So I didn't know when I was hungry. So I get afraid of this one. This is the one that trips me up the most. But your own hunger might be a temptation to you to go eat when, if you look at what you've eaten in the day and what your energy output has been and all that stuff, well, I have eaten enough, and I might just have to be a little bit hungry until my next snack or meal. And that's going to be okay, because within a week or 2 weeks at most, all of us will kind of level out. Our hormones will level out, and we'll see, oh, we're more energetic when we don't eat as much, and we're losing the weight we need to lose to be at a healthy weight, and all these things are kind of coming together. Now, if you're so hangry you feel like you're going to punch somebody in the throat, my suggestion would be add a vegetable and add a protein, because you do not want to be punching anybody in the throat. All right, the third one is temptation from people. People, especially around the holidays, are like, oh, you're not going to eat it, you're trying to be unhealthy, you're not fat, you're not whatever. And people do that, believe it or not. Like, I could never imagine doing that to someone else, and I really think it's a reflection of how someone feels about themselves when they do that. But it happens to me all the time, even with drinks. Like, those of you who have ever tried to go without drinking and just made that a thing, that's kind of hard socially, and people will be like, why don't you, I'll just buy you a drink. I've had people literally buy me a drink after I said, I'm not having drinks right now, at least, for the next couple of weeks, I'm just trying to stay away from alcohol. It's been making me feel yucky, and I've done this multiple times. People have bought me drinks. I'm like, come on, we're all out together. And I'm like, thanks a lot, and then I have to pretend to drink it and ditch it somewhere, like dump it out. It's awkward. Okay, but they also might do that with food. Like, hey, I brought cookies. Or in the office, when I was a teacher, there was always Plato's donuts in there. Like, oh my gosh. Or people would bring treats, homemade treats, all the time around the Christmas season. And we have to be equipped to learn how to say no, and here's why. And if you spill your heart to someone and tell them why, like, hey, you know what? Like, I've really been struggling with being overweight for the last however many years. And this is the time in my life where I have a coach and I have an accountability group, and we're all really trying to stick to our goals because I want to feel better. I want to be able to hang out with my kids and not feel drained all the time. Or if maybe you're not a weight loss goal, maybe like, I am really trying to use this winter, for me, like what I would say, I'm really trying to use this winter to prepare for an amazing race season for 2018. And it has to be every choice every day. And if someone is still in your face after that, bye. Like, I got to go over here. I'm sorry, but I don't have time for people who are trying to bring me down. And that's hard to do. It sounds easy, but it's hard to do. But you have to do it because you love yourself and you love the people around you who will also benefit from your health. And then, let's see, is there another temptation that I thought of? You tempt yourself. Yourself, your own temptation. You stand in that fridge a little too long. You stand by that cupboard a little too long. You walk by and stare at those cookies a few too many times, and you finally convince yourself, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's just one cookie today. And then tomorrow you do the same thing. It's just one cookie, and tomorrow I won't eat a cookie. And the next day you're like, well, dang it, there's still some left. I might just have a cookie today. And it turns into this thing, and then you're beating yourself up, and all of that isn't worth it. Hopefully you're not beating yourself up, but it happens. So in each of those situations, I think you need to break it down and think about, how am I going to resist the temptation that is going to come at me? Pick the one or two that trip you up most often and figure out how you're going to combat that. That's why affirmations are so important. Maybe like you have a piece of jewelry that you like to wear, and it can be like your bracelet or your ring can be a reminder. Oh, no, I have my health journey that I'm working on, so that when you're reaching for that food, you're looking at it and you're going, okay, is this helping me meet my goals or isn't it? And so having something, and that's not the only suggestion you could follow. You can think of anything, any which way. A reminder on your phone. I have a reminder going off 3 times a day that reminds me to be focused, joyful, and Christ-like. Maybe I need to have one that says food choices so that I'm remembering to honor God with and my own body even with my food choices. So I just wanted to talk about that, having self-control, because it can be viewed as a bad thing. I don't want you to be obsessive. I want you to be real with yourself and ask yourself what's going to make you feel best, and then come up with a way to stick to that in the face of temptation, no matter which angle the temptation is coming at you from. So comment below your most common temptation and what your plan is to overcome that temptation when it's staring you in the face. I gave some of my examples, but I'll do the same after I post this. So 2 calls to action. 1, look at that school. Okay, 1, you go on Beachbody On Demand and check out the Fix8 cooking show and find a recipe that looks amazing, and comment below which one you're going to try this week. And number 2, I want you to comment below how you're most often tempted to make poor choices with food, and then how you plan to overcome that as it comes up the rest of, let's say, all of December as we're celebrating. So, love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.